Are you working? What kind of work do you do?
I'm going to talk to you about some things that I've learned in my journey. Most from experience, some of them I heard in passing, many of them I'm still practicing, but all of them I do believe are true.
You're listening to Grit and Gain, the podcast for young professionals hungry for success. Join Marco Velasquez as he unpacks over 2 decades of climbing the corporate ladder, sharing lessons, tips, and strategies to help you accelerate your career.
Welcome to Grit and Gain, where your decision to tune in is an investment in your career. Because true success comes from embracing the grit, doing the hard work, and earning the reward. Before we dive into today's topic, I encourage you to go back and listen to part 1 if you haven't already. It's just the previous episode before this particular one. In the first episode, we discussed the concept that the seat you're sitting in is rented and the rent is due every day. We explored the idea that consistently delivering results, showing up as your best self, and treating each day as a new opportunity to prove your value are critical for long-term success in any organization. But what happens when you're doing everything right, paying your rent on time, showing up, putting in the work, and yet the investment still isn't paying off? Well, that's what we're exploring today. It can be frustrating, even demotivating, to put in the hours, strengthen your skills, and make an impact without seeing the career growth you expect. So today we'll talk about how to assess your situation objectively, make strategic moves internally, and if necessary, explore options externally to ensure your efforts truly pay off. Years ago, I worked for one of the world's largest banks, where I built a career over 17 years. Each role and promotion reaffirmed my belief that this would be the place where I'd retire. I seized every opportunity, leading initiatives, meeting crucial deadlines, networking with fellow professionals, and eventually heading learning and development for national program launches. I thought my hard work and loyalty would translate to steady growth and advancement. But despite my commitment, the career doors I'd hoped for weren't opening. After years of patiently waiting and staying focused, I realized that while my efforts were valued, they weren't translating into the growth that I wanted. It became clear that I needed to assess my options and take action. Looking back, I wish I'd made some strategic choices earlier, choices I'm sharing with you all today to help you avoid some of the same roadblocks. Step 1, assess your current situation. The first step is to step back and assess where you are. Does your current role align with your strengths, your skills, and future ambitions? Are there clear paths for growth, and is your work valued by leadership? Sometimes the gap between your commitment and the recognition you receive is a wake-up call. Reflecting on my own experience, I realized that while my role held value, it wasn't set up for the type of growth I wanted. This was the catalyst I needed to rethink my career planning. Step 2, proactively engage in career conversations. Now, once you've taken stock, it's time to engage in open conversations with your manager or mentor. Share your career goals, ask for feedback, and clearly articulate your aspirations. This isn't about demanding recognition, but about showing genuine interest in aligning your growth with the company's goals. Now, I'll be honest, looking back, I wish I had proactively scheduled a conversation with my manager to share my vision. Expressing my ambitions and seeking feedback might have opened my manager's eyes to my goals, potentially leading to new growth opportunities. And I'll admit, if I could do it again, I'd make it a point to have those candid discussions much earlier, which might have set a foundation for a promotion. Step 3, invest in new skills and take on strategic projects. If your manager is receptive, consider which skills or projects would make you indispensable. Look for growth opportunities that align with the company's direction and make it clear you're invested in your role. Reflecting on my journey, I see now that my hesitancy to have those career discussions with my manager might have actually limited my growth. By developing new skills or tackling strategic projects that align with the company's goals, I could have actually increased my visibility and made a stronger case for advancement. Finally, step number 4, evaluate external options if internal growth is impossible. So what if after all of this, you're still not seeing the progress you need? If you've invested in your skills, sought feedback, and pursued career conversations, and yet you still feel stagnant, it might be time to look outward. This doesn't mean giving up on your current organization, but rather ensuring that your investment is valued in a space where you can thrive. If I'd fully engaged in these proactive steps earlier, perhaps additional doors would have opened within my organization. But at some point, I realized that despite my efforts, the growth I wanted wasn't likely to materialize. When your investment isn't paying off, it's up to you to evaluate if it's time to explore opportunities in a place where your contributions can lead to the success and fulfillment that you're aiming for. So here's the bottom line. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, the seat you're in may not be built for the growth you envision. And that's okay. The key is recognizing when it's time to take action, whether that's expanding your role within your current organization or exploring new opportunities externally. Remember, it's your career, and it's up to you to ensure that every effort you make is leading you closer to your goals. If you're giving it your all and still not seeing the results, don't settle. Take strategic action, document your wins, and if needed, find the next place where your hard work will be truly valued. Success doesn't just happen to us. It's something we build day by day. So stay committed, be proactive, and keep recognizing the value that you bring.
Thanks for tuning in to Grit and Gain. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate the podcast and share it with a friend or colleague who's looking to grow their career. For more ways to fuel your career, visit gritandgain.com. And don't forget to email your questions or suggestions to gritandgainhq@gmail.com. Keep pushing forward. Embody the grit, earn the gain.